Democrats setting their sights on 2018 after a shocking upset in Alabama. Doug Jones elected the first Democratic senator in over a quarter century. So what will be the biggest races to keep your eye on for next year? Here with the answer, editor-at-large for Ballotpedia and senior fellow at the King's College, Scott Rossman. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Great to be with you, Julie.
So we've got some races that we want to watch.
A lot of things to watch as we go into 2018. You know, when you look to the Senate, the Democrats have a big uphill battle to try and regain control. They only need a net gain of 2 seats, but they have to defend an awful lot of seats in territory that Donald Trump won.
Right, and you're saying we're specifically looking right now at 3 of them, and you're saying these 3 have to win.
That's right. If the Democrats want to win control of the Senate, they must win these 3 races, and they're all pretty challenging. The first one, especially challenging for the Republicans, Dean Heller is the only Republican senator running in a state won by Hillary Clinton.
Do you think he's going to have the toughest battle?
Absolutely. He is the most vulnerable senator in office. He would have been replaced by Jeff Flake, except for Jeff Flake resigned. So this is a race Democrats are counting on as a pickup, one of the 2 that they would need.
Okay.
But then
the other one
to Joe Donnelly in Indiana. Now, Indiana is generally a Republican-leaning state, kind of a fluke that Joe Donnelly's in office to begin with. Donald Trump won here by 19 points. This is a state where we're going to start to hear good things about the tax reform bill being passed and other items on the Trump agenda.
Okay, now moving over to Missouri, how big is this one going to be?
This is a huge race. Claire McCaskill has always been a challenge. She's a great campaigner. She wouldn't be expected to be here otherwise.
Right.
I think you're going to hear a lot in this state about when the Supreme Court nominees come up again, do you want Chuck Schumer in charge? And a lot of people in Missouri are going to say, no, we want to keep this Senate in Republican hands because of the Supreme Court.
And how big is it who she's facing? You're talking about Attorney General Josh Hawley, who has the backing of the president.
Not only the president and Mitch McConnell.
Right.
This is a place where there's not a GOP civil war. Quality candidate, unified party, Trump by 19 in Missouri. This is a state. Claire McCaskill is going to have the fight of her life. If the Democrats win all 3 of these states, well, then it's probably true that they'll pick up Arizona as well. On the other hand, if the Republicans pick up a couple of these seats, big surprise could be Joe Manchin in West Virginia might be at risk. He's very popular in the state, but that's a state Trump won by 42 points.
How important do you think, or how big of a deal do you think the tax reform bill, the GOP tax reform bill, is going to be for the GOP in some of these races and in trying to keep the Senate?
In these states, it will be a very big positive. But more important than the tax reform bill itself will be the president's ability to connect that to a growing economy. If he can say, look, the tax reform bill, my efforts to reduce the regulatory burden are the reason the economy is humming along, if it's humming along.
Right.
Then it becomes a very powerful message, not just in these states, but across the country.
All right, let's move along to some of the races to watch as far as the House goes.
Yeah, and in the House, obviously, there's 435 races. There's no must-win races. These 3 are examples of the types of things we might be looking for in 2018.
So let's start with Illinois.
Go to Illinois 6, Peter Roskam. He's a Republican in a district that Mitt Romney won by 8 points, but Hillary Clinton won by 7 points. Suburban.
Right. You were telling me earlier Democrats are gaining ground here, so this is going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely. This is the kind of race that you would expect Republicans to lose several of. And Roskam is narrowly favored to win right now. But in races like this, if the Democrats pick off these, they might gain 10 or 15 states. Right. Republicans would still control the House.
Let's move to Utah, 4th district.
Yeah, now this is the opposite end of the spectrum. Mia Love is expected to win. Democrats have nominated or have selected a good candidate, mayor of Salt Lake City. There's some rumors that he might actually abandon this race and run for the U.S. Senate if Orrin Hatch stays in. But assuming he doesn't, this is the kind of race that the Democrats maybe get in a wave election. If you and I are standing here in November and we're saying this is competitive, the Democrats will have gained control of the House, and they might be looking at a 35 or 40 seat pickup.
And finally, our last one is Texas.
That's right. Now, you go to Culberson's 7th district in Texas. A little bit of a surprise, narrowly won by Hillary Clinton. Culberson has been around for 18 years. He's won election 9 times. Should be coasting, and he is coasting, and a lot of people think that's the danger. As the ground shifts beneath him, he doesn't even have a campaign manager. At least that's what the reports say right now.
Right.
These are the kind of seats that when a party picks up big numbers of gains in the House or gets large gains in the House, it's because some guys were caught napping.
So do you think right now Republicans hold the House and Senate?
Right now, I think they hold the Senate. I think the House,
questionable on the House.
50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
Jillian.
Scott.